Treat yourself like an athlete and watch how your world changes. You probably heard similar titles going around now, but I haven't really heard anyone speak about the real life implications. As I grew up playing sport and always trained to be an athlete, I feel like I can speak about my experience and what it truly means to treat yourself like an athlete and the benefits that you will see in real life. Treating yourself like an athlete is an identity shift. You have to understand athletes are a certain character, and this certain character has certain habits to become who they are. Going through an identity shift to see yourself as an athlete is important because our habits reflect our identity. In the book Atomic Habits, it explains how we can create habits by first using the identity shift. If we see ourselves as a certain character, then we feel obliged to fulfill the roles and actions of that character. Every time we take the right action, every time we engage in the right habit, we believe in ourselves more that we are that character. The more we believe we are that character, the more it reinforces us to keep engaging in the good actions and good habits. You can make the identity shift before the habits. Then you're going to start asking yourself naturally, okay, what does this character do? How do I treat myself like an athlete? Over time, it's become clear to me how an athlete should treat themselves. Physically, exercise, sleep and recovery, and eating healthily. As an athlete, taking care of yourself physically means engaging in good habits and removing the bad habits. Doing all the right things isn't going to help you as much if you're still doing all the wrong things as well. You also have to treat yourself like an athlete mentally. And what I've realized is there's 3 key components that you need to make sure you're focusing on. And those are discipline, consistency, and execution. Discipline to keep engaging in the good habits and stay away from the bad habits. Consistency to stay in your routine and do the things you need to do to progress every day. And execution. Being an athlete is all about the finer details. So you need to execute, you need to make sure you're on point. You need to make sure your calories are right. You need to make sure your protein's right. You need to make sure your sleep is good. You need to make sure you're exercising at the right intensity. All these things add up. So you need to make sure you're executing as well as possible for you to perform as well as possible, just like an athlete would. And all 3 of these components tie into each other. You need to be disciplined in order to be consistent. You need to be consistent in order to execute. You need to execute in order to be disciplined. There are numerous ways in which your world will change. The world will treat you completely differently. Look at how they treat professional athletes already. They treat them like they're some gods, like they're on a pedestal. The world treats athletes like they're perfect, like the thing that they aspire to be but will never reach. When you start to treat yourself like an athlete and you get to a point where people can recognize the work that you're putting in, they will give you that same respect and admiration. People can see the discipline and consistency that you've had to go through in order to get where you are. The discipline and consistency necessary to put yourself in a better position than you were. Respect and admiration means that there can be jealousy, but largely men and women will see you and have that respect and admiration for you because you've gone through a certain amount of work. You've had to execute, you've had to be disciplined for a prolonged period of time to get the results that you have. In my personal experience, people are nicer to you. People want to interact with you. It's like they want to be around your energy. Like they can just sense it. They can sense the hard work and the discipline that comes off of you. They just want to be surrounded by it. They want a chance to interact with it. Think about the most famous athlete that you know or the athlete that you most like. If you saw them, you would just want a conversation with them. You might ask them for a picture. And that's how a lot of people look at professional athletes. They just want to be in that aura of consistency, perfection, and discipline. And that's the same aura you give off when you start to treat yourself like an athlete. A very important aspect of treating yourself like an athlete, although some may see it as shallow, is that your appearance improves. You look better. And when you look better, you feel good, which is so important. When you feel good, you're going to be more confident. You're going to think, I am the best. You're going to have a desire to be the best. So although some may see it as shallow, it's really important. Look at most athletes. They're lean. They look better. It's that simple. They train hard. They eat well. They sleep well. They're naturally going to look healthier. They're going to improve their appearance. And the world is going to respond to that. And you're going to respond to that internally as well. When you feel good, it's easier to live life with energy. It's easier to be more confident. It's easier to go after the things that you want to go after. With treating yourself like an athlete, I've emphasized the importance of consistency. You build a routine. You build a system that allows you to do these habits like it's second nature. And that routine gives you so much clarity. That is a massive part of treating yourself like an athlete. Having clarity. You have these systems in place, you know which habits to engage in at which time and when to do them. And that frees up so much space and clarity in your brain to think of all the other things that you need to do in the day or the week. Treating yourself like an athlete will really change your life. You just have to care about yourself enough to do so. I hope this video helps. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.